find the video editors, like, they would just f off so much. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, sorry man, like there's a holiday on Monday," and just like dip.
So you said that you're bringing in new editors and firing the shittier ones.
Have you found any like gender differences, honestly, between male and female for editors, or it's all pretty much the same?
Some of my editors, like over the years, they just don't fucking have it. No matter what I do, like I have to spell it out for them. And so what I've learned is,
But yeah, man, I just wanted to talk to you about a lot of training stuff,
Yeah.
in workflows more so.
Sure.
Obviously the edits are cool too, but I mean, you know, what's like, what have you found? Like, I literally am gonna hire someone today. They're gonna go through your program to learn, but in terms of like project management and like, you know, all that stuff, what have you seen to work the best afterwards? So they take the course and it's like, what's the best step to teach someone like everything, I guess?
Okay. Are you asking more so like onboarding process or like
Yeah.
project management?
Um, we'll start with onboarding and then project management.
For
So like if
sure.
you're gonna onboard a new editor, you get them to go through the training. Like, you know, what's the first week look like? Do you like warm them up first, or you just throw everything at them and like?
Got it. Okay. So what's your current situation? How are you guys like editing your videos?
So I've had a bunch of different editors, honestly, but you know, I think they haven't been successful because I haven't trained them properly and I haven't like given them the proper guidelines and like onboarding.
Okay.
Like, I feel like sometimes it's hard for me. Like, I know what I want it to look like, but like they'll give me an edit and it doesn't look like that, but I can't tell why. Like, and I don't
Hmm.
know if it's like, do you give them like a bunch of examples of like this is what our ads look like?
Got it. You know what you want, but sometimes you can't express it.
Yeah,
Um, okay. So let me go back really quick. Are you an agency, e-com,
I have an
affiliate?
e-commerce brand.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So right now you're kind of like working through different contractors. You don't have like a dedicated editor yet?
yeah. I just am about to hire on like a full time editor
Okay.
right now, and I want to like train them up essentially the right way.
Okay, gotcha. Um, has this editor so actually who is on your team right now?
Um, it's just me,
Okay.
Mitch, and then I've that's pretty much it for the content side. I'm
Uh-huh.
building the editor, and then once they're kind of solidified, I'm gonna get a full-time content creator to give the editor a ton of content to use because I found that's been an issue for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so are you, I mean, you're writing scripts, like
Yeah,
you're doing strategy, you're doing media buying, all that,
yeah,
right? Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
And so you want the editor to basically deploy on these scripts. You know, from the onboarding perspective, or how are you vetting the editors right now?
Trial. We have a trial edit.
Okay.
Um,
I think the biggest trait you want to look for is your ability to storytell. Um,
hmm.
and so if you can, like another test could be like, hey, I have a bunch of like random footage, put together like a mashup for me and make it look
See what you
cohesive.
can do. Mm.
Because I think that's one of the biggest challenge, like the biggest test for me is from an editor standpoint. Can you take this footage and put something together, you know, turn shit into gold just based off your own creativity?
That's what I've always looked for because, like, I feel like I know how to do that myself. I can look at all the footage and make like 100 ads out of it. But like,
Hmm.
if I told my editor to do the same, they wouldn't really know where to start. So, like, you're saying that's a skill set that people just kind of have.
It's a gift. I would say you either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
Um, for example, like some of my editors, like over the years, they just don't fucking have it. And no
Yeah.
matter what I do, like I have to spell it out for them. And so what I've learned is different editors will come with different skill sets and different, you know, strengths. And so you want to position them where they're going to be most valuable in your business. Some of my editors are better at motion graphics and they're better at like, you know, like commercials. Some are
Mm.
way better at UGC than they are at like mashups. So I'm always very keen to like assign projects to editors who I know it's not going to be their strengths for.
Yeah. That makes
So
sense.
figure out what her strength is, see if it's a good match for what you guys are looking for.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and if she feels good about it, like if she can explain her reasoning as to why
Hmm.
she made a choice on something, it's good that she's critically thinking while she's editing it,
No, makes sense.
because like to find the entrepreneur like yourselves who's
Yeah.
also an editor is going to be it's a hard find.
Yeah.
Um, but you can find really talented people who you can grow, who have this natural like ability.
Mm.
For example, I've taken a few editors through like the program and actually worked with them on like real client projects, and they just fucking get it now. They get it. And I'm like, all right, great. Like you're an amazing resource that I can call upon at any time now.
Yeah.
Um, so it is definitely possible. But where were we at? New hires. Yeah. So just getting understanding if she's a better fit by throwing more relevant projects at her and
Mm.
testing for her storytelling, testing for her critical
Do you think
thinking.
that in the storytelling, critical thinking, like, you think that comes along with like being able to like select the right clip? Like, is that just a part of like that whole skill set? Because I've found that too. Some people, it's like, man, like that clip looks like shit. Like, I know it's in the files, but like, I don't know if I'm supposed to remove everything that's bad, or like that's just like, again, in the, naturally you could kind of see if it looks good, kind of thing.
It's a skill, or like
Yeah.
it's like intuitive, it's like
Yeah.
I correct that all the time. Somebody will look at a batch of raws, look at it
Yeah.
completely different than me, and I'm like, why didn't you use this like portion where she's fucking like having an
Yeah.
orgasm? You know what I mean? Like that,
Yeah.
that's the shot. Um, but over time, they do pick up. They'll never
Yeah.
be like 100% your brain, but they can pick up on like 50 to 70% of what you like. Um, and then yeah, eventually it will be autonomous.
For content creation as well, like, I don't know about your team, but like, do you have a full-time content creator, or like a lot of e-commerce brands you work with? Do you, like, I know like everyone's like, oh yeah, UGC, or you can go hire out people, but like I feel like it's really inefficient to like keep on paying individual people. Do you see people with just one main person to record all the content?
I mean, that's how my agency works right
Yeah.
now. I have myself and one other person to produce content. I also obviously have like a database of UGC creators that I
Yeah.
that I don't pay them monthly though, because like it doesn't make sense unless
Yeah.
I find somebody that I really like. Um, shooting content yourself is probably the most efficient way you could go
Yeah.
about, especially because it is UGC. I mean,
Yeah.
most of the stuff is going to be UGC. I think I've seen some of your ads actually.
So
One of
staffing
the
care.
Yeah, I think one of the editors posted a video, not like a while back,
Yeah.
but but yeah, like
A lot of my ads are they literally fall into one of two categories. I don't pay for UGC really at all. It's only been testimonials, because
mhm.
we have a fuck ton of testimonials of people just sending video ins,
Oh, good.
or post on Instagram, stuff like that, or it's AI. It's really one or the other. Um, so that's kind of the main footage chosen, and like that is a skill set too. It's like I'll break down a whole testimonial and I'll find four hooks out of it, but like I really do wish I could just fucking throw someone in the test of like, here's all of our content, just like pick it, like make a bunch of ads out of it, like.
Hmm. Yeah, and they exist
Okay.
100%, and that's totally doable and it's totally possible. Um, Again,
Hmm.
you have to have both the creative and the analytical side. Um,
Hmm. I was
but
thinking like metrics and stuff like that. Like,
mhm.
you know, are you like, do you guys are like, all right, here's our hook rate on like these ads. Like, are you actively showing the editor, the whole analytics and like that way to incentivize, or like,
Sometimes it just goes over their head because they're not really
yeah,
like in that world.
yeah, true.
But I mean, it always depends on who it is, right? Like
Hmm.
some editors, like they just don't fucking talk. They're just like, hey, what's going on, dude? Like, let's fucking like let's brainstorm. And they're like, cool, boss, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, I've had one.
super
Me and
like,
Mitch hop on a call with the editor. It's just like, all right, brainstorm session. It's just me and Mitch talking. And he's like, yep.
Yep, that sounds good.
I know, and a lot of the foreigner, editors, some of them are going to be like that.
Yeah.
So like, because like I have like I have some English speakers like native, and
Mhm.
that's a game changer in terms of
Yeah.
like back and forth
Yeah.
conversation. But when it comes to ideation, yeah, like obviously Magic Brief, Foreplay, those types of things can help a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but at the end of the day, whoever is leading the creative strategy makes the calls.
Okay.
Like you don't want to put too much responsibility on the editor to like sometimes make those decisions
Yeah.
because they don't have the breadth, experience, marketing knowledge to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the insights, that like they're not on ads manager all day. They're not like looking at the
Yeah.
performance.
Those
Um,
shop
yeah,
almost.
so you as a creative strategist, it's like you want to steer the ship, where you want to go, and then you let the people do the work for you. Because ultimately you're the brand owner, you know it best. You're gonna know
Yeah.
it best until someone has accumulated enough experience on your team to like raise
Yeah.
them up.
In terms of like examples, I mean, like, should I have like a big folder of like kind of like aspirations of like styles so they can kind of go back into, or like, or should you just let them have their like ability to just like kind of create and kind of think of their own way?
Definitely have like gold standards.
Okay.
Like, because like I said, editors, who knows what the fuck they're fucking like, they don't have a frame of reference. So it's like
Yeah.
I always think of like work within the box, right? If you don't give them a box to work into, then they're just like, oh, let's go take this random GIF and put it into this motion graphic. And then you're like, what is going on? So it's like, no, we're doing UGC direct response. Yeah, here are like some of the best brands in the world. Here's our
Yeah.
best performing ads. All right, I want you to fucking watch these every single day until you can't fucking get it out of your head. Um, and yeah, some of my like a lot of my editors, when I fucking just drive it home to them, like, no, that's fucking wrong. Like,
Yeah.
I have to be brutally like honest about it because in the past I would be very like soft and gentle and be like, oh no, it's not that good, or it's like it's okay, and I would let it go. And then it would fucking tank, and they never learn. So you do have to don't be a dick about it, but it's like, hey, let's try this again. All right. Like, it's exactly what I want. I want it exactly like this. I want the captions to look like this. I want you to make sure the pacing is fucking fast. I want your hooks to be like this. And you will probably say it a few times in the beginning, but eventually it will come naturally to them. It's annoying of a process, and every editor has to go through it.
Yeah. Do you
Mhm.
think I I'm curious, do you think like we're gonna have like 21 ads roughly a week? Um, they're gonna be under like a minute and a half with like three different hooks. You think that's fine for workload? Or is that a lot?
21,
Yeah.
a lot. It's a lot of
Yeah.
ads. Yeah, because our output, one editor for us can produce like one solid ad a day, like
Oh
a
fuck.
1 minuter. Yeah, like with
Really?
hooks. Like obviously we could stretch that, but because of time zone differences, it's always like now I have to look at it, now I have to revise it, now I have to go back, and it's like eats up time.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I was thinking about it. Like the revisions take a long time.
mhm.
So like our goal was to get 21 creatives out a week. I mean, for the revisions, like, would you recommend like they just kind of do it sporadically, or like they have a time window, like an hour? Like I don't know how you do it. From 8 to fucking 10, do you guys do revisions? Like, or their editor goes through the frame and does it, or like do they have like three main videos they want to work on that day, or one main video?
Yeah, so typically how we'll do it is we have revisions, we send it back to the editor, and they have to submit it like at the end of the day. Like they have to get it back the same day.
Okay.
Um, and they don't work on another project until they like get the revisions done. Because it doesn't make
Mm,
sense to start something
okay.
new when you haven't finished what you started.
That makes
Um,
sense. You have to
because an
follow.
editor can only really work on one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Um, and and yeah, and also like some of the revisions, like this is where having the skills to like do it in-house or like having someone on the same time zone as you where you can communicate real quick.
Yeah.
Um, whether it's US or Canada or whatever, it's
Yeah.
like
They're in Argentina, which it's the same time zone
It's
as
the
Oh,
same
us.
that's
time
good.
zone.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
time zone's everything, man, because it's like you don't have to wait till they wake up or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's solid actually. Then you can be like, hey, whatever your name is, could you get these to me within the next hour or less?
Yeah.
That
Okay.
communication's key.
That's interesting. Well, yeah, I wasn't sure. I mean, it probably takes me like probably like an hour and a half maybe to make an ad.
Okay.
Um, but like I don't know, man, unless we're not going that crazy or something. Like
No, no, absolutely. Because hour and a half is totally like reasonable. You already have the shots, you have the scripts written, like all that
yeah.
stuff is taken care of. Um, for us, we give our editors like a full day. But like if they can crank out, like my faster editors can crank out like 3 to 4 videos in a day for sure.
Yeah. Well, they're
Um,
gonna have that full brief that I showed you earlier. Like they'll have like this is what the hook shot is, this is what this shot is. It's like so in my head it's pretty much just like drag and placing all the clips.
yeah, just
Um,
assembling it. Yeah.
so I didn't
Uh,
think it would take that long, but I mean it still maybe it could.
just depends, always depends on the editor, their internet
Yes. What I'm
connection.
what I'm hearing that who it is plays a huge role.
Yeah. It's always the person, man.
And
I
once
mean,
you find a good editor, you got to keep them.
most valuable asset for your company.
Yeah.
And yeah, that I fired all my shitty editors and I only kept the strong ones. And like their output is like 2 to 3x of my shitty ones, right? So it's
Oh,
like
wow.
that's what you want. You want more output at higher quality at cheaper costs all the time.
Where are they
Um,
from?
I have one US, like I pay him like US salary.
Oh shit.
Um, and then the rest are in the Philippines.
Yeah.
One of them is like from the UK but lives in the Philippines. So
Okay.
it's like we
Yeah,
get
I had a couple Filipinos, but like I found my VA, like my
Mhm.
customer, he's amazing. Like he's actually amazing. But like I found the video editors, like they would just fuck off so much. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, sorry man, like there's a holiday on Monday," and just like dip. And it's like, "Oh yeah, it's like holiday on Monday, typhoon on Tuesday, Wi-Fi
Yes.
went down,
Yeah.
Wi-Fi went down on Wednesday." It's like, all right, man, like,
Same
and then
shit. Same. There's a flood, there's a internet's out, there's a blackout. Yeah.
bro, it's like twice a week, like yeah. So
True.
and then I don't know. I made the mistake earlier. I was overpaying them, then I realized I was overpaying them. And try to go back, and that did not work.
Oh yeah. That's a fuck
Um,
you.
yeah, and I understand why, but um, yeah, I'm also with this current editor. I'm not planning the track hours. I'm just in my head. It sounds better for them, but like it's just like if we get these, 20 projects out a week, I don't care if it how many hours it took, as long as we get it out, and then I'm just paying a base monthly salary instead of tracking hourly.
Yeah.
So I've tried hour in the past, but I find like they're like 3, 4 hours on a project. I'm like, come
Yeah.
on, man, like it doesn't take that long.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't fuck with hourly rates.
Yeah,
Just
you just
because
pay
like
everyone a monthly salary, and
yeah, unless I'm starting them out, I'll do per project. But
yeah,
yeah, salary's most consistent. Because dude, everyone could lie about their hours.
yeah.
But yeah, no, that sounds about right.
As far as our project management, you think that's a fine workflow? It's just everything's in that sheet, the briefs there. They click it, they upload the frame, they let us know that they did, and then like all the communications just in Slack. Um,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
used to use Notion, but like I feel like I want to keep things brain dead simple.
Hmm.
Because I was talking to a guy, he's doing $1 million a month with this e-commerce company, and he runs it with a Discord, a content creator, and a video editor, and then that's it. It's like I'm like, all right, fuck, man, I'm not overcomplicating it.
Exactly. You don't have an agency. Like agencies are
Yeah,
complicated, but
yeah, they are.
e-com brands are, straightforward. And so super lean, that system's totally fine. Like a Google Sheet, I mean, like I use it all the time too. We use Airtable. We like
Yeah,
Asana is like all these project management things are the same fucking thing.
yeah.
It's a Google
Yeah.
Sheet, right? Um, but yeah, no, you've done a great job putting that
Okay,
together. So just stick to one thing.
cool.
I got a couple questions.
What's
Yes, sir.
up?
Yeah, so you said that you're bringing in new editors and firing the shittier ones. How often are you bringing new ones in or like testing, new hires?
It depends on my workload. If we get a shit ton of stuff and my editors are dying, I'll test some editors from the community in our Slack. and I'll be like, hey, can you try this project out? Or I'll find them on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is also a really good place to scope out editors. Now it's become very apparent, like in their title, I'm a direct response video editor. It's like, sweet,
Mhm.
all right, cool, I'm hitting you up. And so yeah, now I think editors are starting to grow some balls and put themselves out there. And so when it comes to testing, like yeah, like I'll run a whole project with them, obviously starting with one, and then if I like them, there's a lot of factors involved, right? There's like quality, price, communication, I think are like some of the key things. Um, if I'm noticing that like they're not responsive, then I will probably not work with them. Like I like people who are like on top of their shit.
Have you found any like gender differences on like between girl and female or male and female for editors, or it's all pretty much the same?
Women are definitely like attention to detail. Like they have that attention to detail,
Okay.
better communicators across the board. Um, I just I personally like working with female creatives. I don't have any on my team right now. I used to.
Yeah.
Um, but they also understand like women's products too. If I mean, you're not dealing with that,
No, but yeah, it makes sense though.
but
'Cause I find like a lot of the dudes I've worked with as editor, like they're more like not assertive, but like I don't know, like they're trying to feed a family type shit. So it's like they're more like straight up and like more aggressive with like pay and like
mm.
projects and everything. And I was just like, okay, well, let's see, I'll try the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, no, females are good too. I would definitely suggest like putting out your own vision board of like
Yeah,
who you want to attract into your own business and like let the people like let those qualities, you know,
kind of sort through.
yeah, because it's like, for example, I want someone who's highly creative, intelligent, critical thinker, great communicator, is okay at editing, but like is willing to learn,
Yeah,
like and when you're talking to people, it's just like you're looking out for those things, just you're
that's
what's
that's a
that?
good. That's a good idea.
And learn from your mistakes too, because like the only thing you can really base your fucking experience on is like your past.
Yeah,
And all those things, like what did you not like about the last round of editors? Very important that you make that statement very clear. We don't accept this or that. Also,
yeah,
when you're like curating posts or hiring, it's like this is not what we stand for. Um,
yeah.
you know,
Having like clear expectations and beliefs.
exactly.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Do you have any other questions, Mitch?
Yeah, just one more question on like when you do find, I guess we'll call it like a winning editor,
Uh-huh. Winning
how are
editor.
you
Yeah, thanks.
incentivizing? Yeah, how are you incentivizing them?
There's different ways, right? Like obviously, increase in pay is one of the biggest things. Well, consistency is probably one of the biggest things that an editor wants, especially from like third world countries or like not third world, but like international. They just
Yeah.
want a fucking consistent paycheck. Like, do you know how hard it is to get a consistent paycheck doing something that you love? Like, that
Mhm.
alone is a huge. So it's like we're willing to pay you X amount, and
Yeah, I've
commit to.
realized that like the salary is like the end all be all to a lot of these people.
It's huge, man. That's life. Like they don't have to go search for a job anymore that pays them pennies.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it is
and
like
so, just commitment on your end, obviously. It's like, hey, we're willing to work with you, and maybe you don't have to sign anything, like, but it's like we want to work with you indefinitely. The next thing is obviously like pay increases, which could be determined on the business growth. When I had a really big team, we would do performance reviews every quarter.
yeah,
So that would mean sitting down with them, kind of analyzing their performances depending on their department. So if it was an editor, it's like, all right, so based off of that Google sheet that we had, I used to track individual editors and their like number of revisions and like quality of the ad. So it's like, poor, good,
yeah,
best, whatever. And then you can tally that up, right, from a like data standpoint and just cumulatively like be like, okay, so on average, we hit this many targets with our edits. And so you can set an expectation of like, we wanted to hit this number. We were super close, but let's try again next quarter. And with that, we can do like a 20% increase in your pay or something like that.
Yeah, like the amount of revisions an average ad takes, or the average time to create, or like some metrics that they can go off of.
Yeah, like total output, I think is one of the biggest things. So you went from producing 10 videos a week to 15, and
Mhm.
out of these 15, you know, 80% of those crushed, or they were really good quality. And you want to measure your own personal like time freedom. Like, am I getting my time back right now?
Yeah.
Or am I investing more time in you that's not netting a result? I think that always warrants a good like you can also do okay, so like salary is one thing. You could also do bonuses. So just $100. It's like, hey, thanks for crushing it this month. Here's an extra $100. Like
Yeah.
feed your family, whatever. And people like that as well. We do that on birthdays. Um, and if we're just feeling nice about it. But again, profitability is key in your own business. If you have room to share, then you can do bonuses,
So,
increase pay. I know in the Philippines, obviously they have that 13th month thing where they have to pay them a full salary on the basically an extra month out of the year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a thing that we've technically adopted for them because most of our editors are from the Philippines. Um, and then lastly, I don't know, not it's I haven't seen it like fully done because I've never done it, but like giving them a percentage of ads or not ad spend, but performance. Um, I see guys in the group saying this. It's like, we'll give you 1% of the net revenue from the ads that you make plus a salary. And I'm like, it's a good fucking deal. Um,
Yeah, could be.
and like they get very incentivized. At least if I had time, I would probably do an offer like that.
Yeah, that's interesting though.
That's too smart. Yeah.
Any last questions? You guys are good?
I'm
Yes,
good.
thanks. So yeah, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah,
I
dude.
appreciate it, man.
Thank you guys. And hope you find that winning editor.
Yes, thanks,
Cheers,
John.
guys.
Have a
Good
good
luck,
one.
bro. Bye.